The McBee dynasty. Real American cowboy star Stephen McBee Jr. is gearing up for a meaningful and memory-filled holiday season on the Missouri farm. In a recent conversation with the Daily Dish, the eldest of the McBee brothers opened up about what the family has planned as they prepare for a particularly emotional Thanksgiving gathering. It will be one of the last big family events before his father, Steve McBee Sr., begins a long period away from home for personal matters the family is privately navigating. Despite the heavy emotions in the air, Stephen emphasized that the McBees are determined to keep their traditions alive. He noted that the family, including brothers Jesse, Cole, and Braden, along with their partners and children, is leaning into gratitude and togetherness more than ever. For Thanksgiving, we always play a little football, have a big cookout, and just enjoyed being with each other, he shared. Then with Christmas coming, we keep our tradition of a Christmas Eve cookout and letting everyone open one gift. It's something we all look forward to every year. This year's holiday season carries even more meaning as the family celebrates the first Thanksgiving for two of the youngest McBees, Cole and Casey Adkisson's daughter, Blair Collins McBee, and Jesse and Allie McBee's daughter, Summer Lee McBee. According to Stephen, having babies around has brought a fresh wave of joy to the ranch. Stephen also mentioned that he's excited to welcome the new year with his girlfriend, Allie Eklund. With a smile, he admitted he got an early start on preparing for 2026 by beginning the year with someone special at his side. Other than that, he said, I've got some big goals for my fitness side of things, but mostly, I want to keep making time for my family and being present with them. We're just seeing where this whole ride takes us. Stephen McBee Jr.'s fitness goals for 2026. When it comes to health and wellness, Stephen is entering 2026 with a strong mindset. Last year, he hit a personal body composition milestone, and now he's curious to see if he can top it. I'd like to set a new record for myself, he said, maybe even improve a little. Stephen shared that while life on the farm keeps him active, it still takes real consistency to reach his goals. The hardest part is diet, he admitted with a laugh, not the workouts. It's just making sure you take in less than you burn. And that's tough because I love food. How the McBee family is supporting their dad. Earlier this month at BravoCon 2025 in Las Vegas, Stephen and his brothers spoke candidly about how they are supporting their father through his upcoming time away from the family. While they didn't go into details, they made it clear that the experience has only strengthened their bond. My dad is one of the most optimistic people we've ever known, Stephen said, standing beside his brothers. He's always been someone who handles tough situations with a level head. If anything, I think we're more anxious than he is. He added that the McBees are committed to staying united as they navigate the next chapter. We're here to support him in every way we can, he said. We're a family that sticks together, and we'll get through anything as a team. The winter sun was just beginning to dip behind the rolling Missouri hills as Stephen McBee Jr. walked across the ranch yard, the air crisp with that unmistakable late November chill. The scent of wood smoke drifted from the fire pit where his brothers had been gathering hay bales earlier in the afternoon. The place looked almost postcard perfect. Wide open land, scattered barns, fences stretching into the distance, and the soft sound of cattle moving in the pastures. It was the setting of countless McBee memories, and this year it felt even more meaningful. Inside the ranch house, his mom was already organizing the upcoming holiday events with her usual blend of practicality and warmth. She had always been the glue that held everything together, and this year she seemed determined to make each gathering special. With their father preparing for an extended period away from the farm, she wanted everyone to feel centered, loved, and supported. Stephen paused at the doorway, watching her bustle around the kitchen, checking lists, adjusting recipes, and reorganizing decorations she'd just placed an hour earlier. He couldn't help but smile. She'd been doing this since the brothers were little, creating moments that became traditions. This year, those traditions meant more than ever. Across the living room, Cole and Jesse were assembling an oversized playpen for the babies, who had quickly become the stars of the family. Blair was tiny but alert, her big eyes constantly taking in everything around her. Summer Lee, with her chubby cheeks and endless giggles, was already a family favorite. For Stephen, seeing his younger brothers as fathers was something he hadn't expected to impact him so deeply. It wasn't just sweet, it grounded him. It reminded him of the passage of time, the importance of roots, and what mattered most. He knelt beside the playpen just as Cole placed Blair gently inside. "Dude," Stephen teased, "you read the manual this time, or just winging it?" Cole grinned. "This is like the 5th thing I've put together this month. I'm practically a professional." "Define professional," Jesse added from behind a stack of blankets. Laughter filled the room, softening the heaviness that had occasionally settled in since the family learned their dad would be gone for a while. Moments like these, the teasing, the shared work, the simple comfort of being together, were what Stephen wanted to hold on to. Later that evening, as the family gathered around the table for a pre-holiday planning dinner, Stephen's dad took a quiet moment to pull his sons aside. He didn't speak in heavy tones or make the moment dramatic. Instead, he softened his voice in that steady, confident way of his. "Boys," he said, "I want you to keep doing what you always do. Take care of your mom, take care of each other, keep the ranch running strong. And don't worry about me, I'm all right." It was simple, but the words hung in the air. Stephen nodded, meeting his father's eyes. "We've got everything handled." Jess put a hand on their dad's shoulder. "We're good, promise." Their father smiled in that familiar way, the one that reassured them even when life was challenging. Thanksgiving arrived with unusually mild weather, sunlight stretching across the fields as the family gathered outside for their annual football game. This tradition had been around since the brothers were kids, a haphazard, chaotic, laughter-filled game that almost always ended with someone getting tackled into a pile of leaves. Braden, the most competitive of the bunch, insisted on organizing teams. "All right," he declared dramatically, "this year the trophy goes home with me." "There is no trophy," Cole reminded him. "There should be," Braden fired back. Stephen laughed and shook his head. "Fine, you win a year of bragging rights." "That's all I need," Braden said, puffing out his chest. As the game began, their mom watched from the porch with the babies bundled in fuzzy blankets. Allie arrived a few minutes later, bringing a warm casserole and an easy smile. Stephen jogged over to meet her, wrapping his arms around her as she laughed into his shoulder. "Your family is energetic," she teased. "You have no idea," he replied. Allie fit right in, laughing with his brothers, cooing at the babies, and chatting comfortably with his mom. Stephen felt a warm sense of reassurance seeing her there. She wasn't just someone he was dating, she was someone who felt like she could be part of the family's fabric. As the football game wrapped up, with Braden loudly celebrating a questionable victory, the group moved inside for dinner. The long wooden table was lined with dishes: roasted turkey, smoked brisket, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, homemade pies, fresh rolls, and his mom's famous cranberry sauce. Stephen took a moment before sitting down, scanning the faces around him. Even with everything the family was facing, laughter echoed through the house. The babies babbled, his brothers teased each other, their partners exchanged stories, and his dad sat with a calm expression that radiated his usual resilience. It was exactly the kind of holiday Stephen had hoped for. The days that followed were filled with decorating, preparing for Christmas, and gathering extended family to share time together. Stephen found himself reflecting more often, during chores, while mending fences, even during his morning workouts. He kept returning to one thought. Family wasn't something you counted on only in easy times. It was something you held tightly during the complicated ones. One evening, while feeding livestock in the soft glow of the barn lights, Stephen paused and leaned against the stall door. The horses shifted quietly, their warm breath forming little clouds in the cold air. He thought about the coming year, the goals he'd set, the changes ahead, the responsibility that would fall on his shoulders. Instead of fear, he felt a sense of clarity. He wanted to grow stronger, emotionally and physically. He wanted to support his brothers as they navigated fatherhood. He wanted to continue building something meaningful with Allie. He wanted to be the steady presence his family needed. "We're gonna be all right," he muttered to himself, echoing his dad's earlier words. Christmas Eve approached quickly, and with it came the family's most beloved tradition, the annual cookout and single early present. The McBees gathered by the fire pit, bundled in coats, drinking hot chocolate and cider while the men grilled steaks and burgers.